this place. It's built on ritual. And with rituals, how you do something.
Spoiler warning from Season 4, Episode 9. If you haven't watched Episode 9 yet, pause this and come back after, because we're about to break down one of the most important episodes in the entire season. And once you see what's really going on with Sophia, you won't be able to unsee it. And real quick before we get into it, if you're enjoying these breakdowns, go ahead and hit subscribe.
Those creatures terrify me.
I know, every YouTuber says it.
Just kidding.
But in my case, I actually sit here, rewatch scenes, connect details, and write all of this myself. So if you want more From theories like this, subscribing seriously helps push this channel out of Fromville and onto the algorithm's good side. No guarantees though, the algorithm might already be one of the creatures.
This isn't going very well, is it?
Alright, let's talk about Episode 9. The Calm Before might be one of the most misleading titles this show has given us so far. Because nothing about this episode actually feels calm. Instead, it feels like that strange silence right before something goes completely wrong. You can sense it even if nothing has fully broken yet. And that's exactly what's happening here. This episode isn't about big monster attacks or shocking deaths. It's about something worse. Something quieter. Something that spreads inside people's minds before anything physical happens. Because what we're seeing now is the Man in Yellow shifting strategy. He's not just hunting people anymore, he's playing them.
I like games, I guess.
I love them.
And the biggest reveal of this episode is how far that game has already gone. Let's start with Sophia. Now, the interesting thing about Sophia is that she doesn't act like a typical villain. She doesn't come in causing chaos directly. Instead, she blends into the town. She listens more than she speaks. She studies people. And more importantly, she gives them exactly what they want to hear. That's what makes her dangerous. Because in Episode 9, Sophia doesn't need force. She uses belief. Look at Clara. Clara has been desperate for hope this entire season. A way out. A promise that all of this suffering actually leads somewhere. And Sophia gives her exactly that. A way out, a future, something to hold on to. But here's the problem. The moment someone in Fromville thinks they've found hope, that hope usually comes with a price. And Clara stepping into Sophia's plan doesn't look like survival. It looks like recruitment, like she's being positioned for something much bigger in the finale. Which brings us to something even more unsettling, Fatima. Because Fatima's situation in this episode doesn't feel random at all. The timing is too specific. The way everything unfolds after Boyd's prayer, it doesn't feel like coincidence. Boyd asks for protection. And instead, things escalate fast. That's been a pattern in this town for a while now. Whenever someone tries to impose meaning on what's happening, whenever they try to define good, evil, protection, safety, the town responds by twisting it. Almost like it's listening, almost like it's reacting. And Fatima becoming affected here doesn't just feel like another tragedy, it feels like a message, like something is proving a point without saying a word. And that leads into the bigger theme of this episode, belief. Because Episode 9 keeps asking the same question in different ways. What do you trust when nothing around you can be trusted? Ethan might actually be the clearest voice in the entire episode on this. And that's kind of disturbing when you think about it. Because he is the child. But he's the one who recognizes that even familiar faces, even dead loved ones, could be part of the illusion, could be part of the manipulation. At the same time, he doesn't fall into paranoia either. Instead, he says something that sticks. Trust your instincts. And in a place like Fromville, that might be the only real survival skill left. Now let's talk about Henry, because honestly his storyline is getting harder to watch. Henry isn't just confused anymore. He's being pulled between realities that don't agree with each other. And the worst part is that both of them feel real to him. And when you can't tell which reality is true, you start to lose yourself. That's exactly where the Man in Yellow wants him, because confusion is the goal, not answers. Confusion. And that brings us to the ending of the episode, because this is where everything starts to line up. Jade and Tabitha are moving deeper into the mystery. Boyd is pushing forward with the plan involving the bottle tree. Victor is desperately trying to stop people from doing exactly that. And above it all, there's this growing sense that everyone is touching different pieces of the same system without realizing how connected it all is. And then we get the key word from Sophia this episode: rituals. That one idea changes everything. Because if this town runs on rituals, then nothing in it is accidental. Not the bottle tree, not the caverns, not the cycles, not even the suffering. Everything has a function, everything has a purpose, which makes Victor's warning about the bottle tree a lot more serious than it first sounds. Because Victor isn't just scared, Victor is someone who has survived long enough to recognize patterns others don't see yet. And when someone like Victor says don't touch that, you pay attention. Because the scariest possibility isn't that the bottle tree is useless, it's that it's holding something back, something that should not be released. Meanwhile, what's really interesting is Sophia's reaction to Jade and Tabitha going into the cavern. She's not calm about it, she's not indifferent, she's upset, and that detail matters more than it looks. Because if Sophia is fully aligned with the Man in Yellow's plan, then their journey into the cavern shouldn't matter to her at all. But it does, which suggests something important. Either Jade or Tabitha is doing something unpredictable, or they're getting closer to something even Sophia doesn't fully control. And then we get that final piece, the photo Ellis finds, because that changes the entire conversation. A photo of Sophia connected to a previous cycle doesn't just imply she's been here before. It suggests she's been part of this system for a long time, maybe longer than anyone realizes. And when Ellis confronts that truth, Sophia immediately reacts with threat, not explanation. Which says a lot, because when someone has answers, they don't need to intimidate people into silence. Only when they're afraid of exposure do they do that. So where does that leave us going into the finale? It leaves us with a town that is splitting in every direction at once. Sophia is moving inside the system. Clara is being positioned as a tool. Fatima is caught in something unnatural. Henry is losing his grip on reality. Boyd is pushing forward with a plan that might not be as safe as it seems. And Jade and Tabitha are getting closer to something buried beneath everything. The real question is no longer, how do they escape? It's, what happens if they break the system instead? Because the calm before doesn't feel like setup for survival. It feels like setup for collapse. And if Sophia's next move is what this episode is hinting at, then the town isn't about to be attacked from the outside. It's about to fall apart from within. So I'll leave it with this. If Sophia already knows how every cycle ends, why does it feel like she's rushing this one? And if you really sit with everything that's been building up, there's another layer here that almost feels too intentional to ignore. Because Sophia isn't just reacting to events anymore, she's positioning people. Every move she makes in episode 9 feels like she's arranging pieces on a board that the audience can't fully see yet. Clara isn't just being recruited, Fatima isn't just being affected. Even Ellis finding that photo doesn't feel like a coincidence anymore. It feels like each of these moments is being guided toward a specific outcome, like the town itself is being slowly rewritten from the inside. What makes this even more unsettling is how calm Sophia stays while all of this is happening. There's no panic in her actions, no hesitation, no emotional breakdown that would suggest she's improvising. Instead, it's the opposite. She moves like someone who has already seen this version of events play out before. And that's where the idea of cycles becomes impossible to ignore. Because if she truly exists across multiple cycles, then what we're seeing isn't a villain discovering power. It's someone refining a process they've repeated countless times. And that brings us back to the bottle tree. Because at this point, it doesn't feel like just a landmark in the forest. It feels like a control point. Every time the story circles back to it, something shifts in the town. People get closer to answers, but also closer to breaking something they don't understand. And if Boyd's plan involves moving or interfering with it, then the danger isn't just what they might uncover beneath it. It's what might be released if the structure of the ritual is disturbed in the wrong way. Now think about Victor for a second. Victor has always been written as someone stuck between fear and memory, but in this episode his warning feels different. It's not vague or emotional, it's specific. He doesn't just say something bad will happen. He reacts like he has seen it happen before. That's important, because Victor is one of the only characters who carries fragments of past cycles without fully understanding them. So when he insists the bottle tree shouldn't be touched, it doesn't feel like superstition. It feels like survival instinct built from experience the others don't have access to. And then there's Jade and Tabitha, who are slowly becoming the most important connection point in the entire story. Their journey into the cavern isn't just about discovery anymore. It feels like alignment. Like the town is finally pushing both of them toward the same truth from different directions. And what's interesting is how often Sophia seems emotionally unsettled by their progress. That reaction matters more than anything she says, because it suggests Jade and Tabitha might represent something the system didn't fully account for this time around. If you zoom out even further, the entire episode starts to look less like a series of events and more like a controlled pressure build. Every character is being pushed toward breaking points, but in very specific ways. Boyd is being pushed toward faith versus logic. Henry is being pushed toward fractured reality. Fatima is being pushed toward physical transformation. And Ellis is being pushed toward doubt. It's almost like each person is being assigned a different kind of collapse, instead of one single catastrophe happening all at once. When Elgin saw the photo Elgin saw, Elgin,